At Christmas time, Santa Claus had better watch out, because there's a new guy in town.
Action!
As Jim Carrey brings the Grinch
Fabulous! He's green, he's hairy, he's hilarious.
and his two closest friends on a roller coaster ride through the wonderful world of Whoville. As we discover the secrets behind the movie magic of a modern Christmas classic.
That worked out nicely.
From Ron Howard, acclaimed director of Apollo 13, Ransom, and Backdraft.
Great.
And Brian Grazer, award-winning producer of Ransom and Liar Liar, comes the unforgettable story of
The Grinch!
Inside a snowflake, like the one on your sleeve, there happened a story you must see to believe.
The challenge was to be true to the Grinch as he existed in the books, because he's a great character. Number two, to create a screen character that worked for a modern motion picture audience.
Way up in the mountains, in the high range of Pontoos, lay the small town of Whoville, the home of the Whos.
Whoville is this very upbeat place. People are very busy. They're happy, but they're busy.
For the next 5 minutes only, 99% off.
Yes, every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot, but the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not.
He's an outcast. He lives up on a mountain. He won't have anything to do with the Whos.
I guess I could use a little social interaction.
And the Who's favorite holiday is the Christmas holiday. And the Grinch, therefore, cannot stand Christmas.
How dare they?
There's a little girl named Cindy Lou Who who's looking around as the entire town are just going completely out of their minds, worrying about presents, worrying about decorations. And she's wondering where the spirit of Christmas has gone.
Doesn't this seem like a bit much?
This is what Christmas is all about.
But she begins to realize that there's one figure in this whole area that seems to share her sense of frustration about the Christmas holiday.
Nutcrackers!
And who is it? The Grinch.
So Cindy Lou hatches a plan to bring the Grinch down to Whoville, while the Grinch devises a plan of his own to steal the Who's entire Christmas, from the presents to the Christmas feast.
Something I just cannot stand in the least. Oh no. I'm speaking in rhyme!
I always saw Jim Carrey. Always.
Oh, it's a perfect person to play the part.
Yes!
Jim Carrey brought a level of passion and total belief in the story, its entertainment value, and a sense of just the hipness of this character.
Oh.
He didn't need any convincing.
No, yes, no, yes. No, yes.
Jim is brilliantly funny.
His performance is amazing. Oh. He puts such a high standard on himself that I guess he even exceeded that.
The next step would be the physical transformation of Jim Carrey into the Grinch.
Taxi! It's because I'm green, isn't it?
It was clear that Jim Carrey's costume would have to be something special, and that his makeup could only be the work of the world's foremost expert, 5-time Academy Award winner Rick Baker.
I'd always hoped that sometime in my life I would be able to do a big fantasy like this, and I'm so happy.
Makeup that Jim Carrey wore took months to develop.
Come on while I'm young!
To become the Grinch, Jim Carrey would combine his unique brand of physical comedy with the physical transformation that would take place every day in Rick Baker's makeup chair.
If it's going to work on anybody, it would work on Jim because he's so good at contorting his face. He does this great Grinch face, right? Does a weird smile and stuff, you know. Jim's got, you know, a rubber face to begin with.
Not only did we want to be true to the original character, the character that Dr. Seuss created, but the second thing was to create a look that Jim Carrey could work with and do his best work.
Who knows? This humiliation could change my entire outlook on life.
Really?
No.
Well, I just saw him, and I'm like, oh my gosh, who are you? He said, I'm the Grinch, and I'm like, whoa.
But Jim Carrey wasn't the only one being transformed. Every Who down in Whoville needed a certain unique look, and it was up to Rick and his team to design each and every one of them.
Well, I had 7 makeup tests from April till September. At one point, they even talked about no prosthetic because I have a who knows.
The scale of this movie is so immense. Never have I done anything where we had, you know, 90 people in makeup.
This is actually a bigger makeup than what I did for Austin Powers playing Mini-Me. The only thing is my eyes. That's the only thing that's real.
One by one, the cast of The Grinch came together.
Come on, a minute ago I couldn't shut you up. Details, details.
Along with such familiar faces as Jeffrey Tambor as the mayor of Whoville.
Someone just say Grinch.
And Christine Baranski as the Grinch's old flame.
Martha May Whovier seems to have a little infatuation for the Grinch, even though he's green and hairy.
6-year-old Taylor Momsen would star as Cindy Lou Who, the little girl who is convinced that the Grinch is not really nasty, merely misunderstood.
Taylor Momsen is a real discovery. She seems to have an innate understanding of the Cindy Lou Who character.
She has the nerve to go up to the Grinch's cave and knock on his door and to speak to the Grinch.
What do you want?
She pulls out an invitation to the Whobilation and asks him to come down and be holiday cheermeister.
Holiday Hoobie Whatty?
Cheermeister.
Huh? Cheermeister, celebrate. That's a good one.
But there was one more essential cast member who couldn't be found from central casting.
Max the dog is a very important character. Max lives with the Grinch, the only living creature that the Grinch seems willing to tolerate.
Get the stick, Max. Get the stick.
Max puts up with a lot as a result.
There's no stick. I'm smarter.
Max was actually rescued from a pound about 4 or 5 months before the filming.
Her real name's Kelly. I spend a lot of time with her. She's fun.
Max doesn't have a single line of dialogue, but his role will be one of the toughest to rehearse.
We do a lot of wire work. We made harnesses that fit over their head, across their back, that you can reach down and grab the dog like you see in the cartoon. It shows on film.
Oh, Max.
Because a dog loves him.
I love you.
The dog literally loves him.
All right, that's enough. Knock it off. Beat it.
Kelly, the dog from the pound, didn't know it yet, but the movie would change the rest of her life.
I got a list. I have a list of people waiting. They said, wow, this dog was going to be in the movies. Yeah, we want this dog. Now you've saved this dog's life.
Bleeding hearts of the world unite!
As the cast came together, so did the crew of costume designers, set builders, makeup artists, and special effects technicians, who would be responsible for bringing the world of the Grinch to life.
Ultimately, we have been on 11 stages, a couple of which have been turned over and have had multiple events on them.
Turning the production sketches, storyboards, and models into actual buildings was one of the most ambitious operations ever attempted for a motion picture.
We built everything in model form first, which was truly the way to explore these forms to really get what we wanted.
It's also colorful, it's vivid, it's very upbeat, because the Who's are very upbeat.
But the most impressive set would be Mount Crumpet, the Grinch's lair.
There's no place like home.
Inside his cave, the Grinch has created a remarkable world using junk and cast-off pieces of equipment from Whoville.
What is that stench? It's fantastic.
He's fashioned really an amazing place to live. I mean, it's sort of every boy's dream.
The construction of the sets would take thousands of man-hours, but the results were there for all to see.
You walk on the set and it's like a world has totally been created.
And these vast sets would have to be filled with thousands of props.
I never worked on a show with this much manufacturing. Everything has to be made. Forks, knives, toilet paper, everything.
But what would I wear?
Hundreds of costumes would also be required for the Who's of Whoville.
I've never worn clothes as dazzling as this character because they're like couture clothes in extreme.
It's not a dress, it's a kilt. Sicko.
We use a lot of fashion puns. And when you look at the Who's, we have kind of Prada Who and a Chanel Who, and I don't know how many people will notice that, but that made it a lot of fun for me.
Well, the most fun for me were the cars. They really drive, and they're fun to tool around the back lot of Universal.
Great.
One day I drove by Steven Spielberg's office because I knew he'd be jealous, and he was.
Finally, after almost a year of pre-production, preparation, and construction, the filmmakers were ready to start shooting. The fun and the hard work were just beginning.
Action! Airbag's a little slow. But that's what these tests are for!
When Ron Howard and Brian Grazer first considered the idea of turning the classic children's story, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, written by Dr. Seuss, into a major motion picture, they knew they were taking on a formidable task.
The book that the movie is inspired by is, I don't know, it's only 15 pages long. It's very thin.
It's a great responsibility to be the first people chosen to bring Dr. Seuss to live action, and we're trying to do something really special.
It has a lot of great ideas, but as modern movie makers, we had to use them for inspiration and go from there.
All right. You're a reindeer. Here's your motivation. Your name is Rudolph. You're a freak with a red nose, and nobody likes you.
Action!
Principal photography on The Grinch began in early 1999, with the entire cast and crew immediately getting into the spirit of the film.
All right. I'll swing by for a minute, allow them to envy me, grab a handful of popcorn shrimp, and blow out of there.
Cut. Okay, good.
For Ron Howard, it was finally a chance to concentrate on the core of the movie.
It's a performance movie. This is all about actors. Beyond all of the insane comedy and big scope that this picture has, at the center of this movie is a relationship between Cindy Lou Who, who's amazing actually, and the Grinch.
Mr. Grinch, my name is Cindy Lou Who.
Here's Taylor, just turned 6 years old, and she has 3 of the most important scenes in the movie are one-on-ones with Jim Carrey.
Santa, what's Christmas really about?
Vengeance!
And she stood toe-to-toe with Jim, who loved her, who adored her. And together, they wound up delivering 3 of the greatest scenes in the film.
Hello, little girl. How dare you enter the Grinch's lair! The impudence! The audacity!
Alongside these intimate scenes in the Grinch's lair, Ron Howard had to face the challenge of bringing Whoville to life.
In Whoville, the physical laws are just a little off. People seem to be able to lean out a little further than they normally would. And it leads to a visually funny, kind of skewed environment. We got a lot of circus performers as actors playing small parts, working in the background, and in order to get everybody sort of moving the same way, behaving the same way, we had about 3 weeks of Who school to try to develop, sort of a Who-y way of doing things.
But becoming a Who would be a challenge for all the actors.
It was so much fun to create scenes where the Grinch is actually interacting with the Who's, which has never existed in any version of the story before. I had so much fun taking the Grinch and throwing him in the middle of this culture that he despises.
They're relentless!
The production was not without problems, however.
The whole suit that Jim wears, the hairs are individually tied in a hair at a time. So it takes a long time to do a suit.
This is ridiculous. If I can't find something nice to wear, I'm not going.
After the first week of shooting, I thought, we haven't made enough spare parts, because Jim is so energetic and he gets into what he's doing so much, his concern is only about his performance. And many times what he does just trashes the suit.
And gradually, the novelty of the makeup chair began to wear off.
When I climb into the makeup chair, I have figured out that it's about like taking a plane flight to Dallas, Texas, every day.
Every actor, including Max the dog, had some makeup involved in creating this fantasy world. And there were times when Max didn't appreciate the makeup.
Eventually, Ron Howard decided he had to experience what the cast was going through.
I heard a rumor that he might wear the makeup one day. And I told him, I said, Bud, that would be a really good move if you did that. If you showed us all that you too can get ugly.
I did dress up as the Grinch one day and directed all day long as the Grinch. It must have been very confusing for everyone else. Cut!
While shooting continued at Universal Studios, work was already underway at Digital Domain, the special effects team behind Ron Howard's Oscar-winning Apollo 13.
Probably the biggest challenge in this film is the sheer number of shots. We know it's, 300 plus probably.
I didn't want the special effects to overpower live flesh and blood actors. But on the other hand, I really wanted to create a complete new world for the audience to explore.
Ron has been remarkable because it's one of the first movies that I've been on that we've been able to sit at a table, all of the department heads, and discuss everybody's needs.
Of course, if we make a move, we'd have to CGI the, background. Yes. Or would we? We used 11 different sound stages, but to go ahead and extend the world, we used a lot of computer-generated matte paintings.
Often, CGI effects would go hand in hand with physical effects.
The set, as large as it is really still a fairly small part of a town. There's a blue screen wrapping around it that allows us to composite extended buildings, mountains, sky, etc.
We filled in the background with even more masses of Who's to really create the scope and the scale of the movies.
What we see here is the original plate, the blue screen in the background, and then what we've done is we've added additional characters.
In Whoville, not everybody is the same size.
Evening, folks.
All the way down to these little guys we call peewees.
They're pretty much everywhere if you look hard enough, and it's our job to put them in the shots.
There's a shot where a guy's playing the horn and a little guy playing a horn comes out of his horn. The kind of archetypical Dr. Seuss scale gags.
I like it.
The production would eventually settle on two types of physical snow.
One of the things we had to attack very early on was snow. Obviously it snows in Whoville, and obviously it's a big part of their world. We found a snow product that could work on the ground in Whoville.
It's paper, cut up paper, and then the other stuff is bubbles.
The soap bubbles fall down in a very sort of whimsical fashion because they're almost light as air.
And for some scenes, snow would have to be digitally added.
Doesn't somebody somewhere on the planet have digital snow so that we wouldn't have to create our own digital snow?
We'll shoot the scene without snow, and then we add different layers of snow in the final shot.
But even with CGI and the huge sets, some scenes had to be shot on location.
Spread eagle! Nailed it!
One of the scenes that, has never existed before in any other version of this story is this wild, wild sleigh ride down the side of Mount Crumpet. That's a sequence I'm really proud of. Audiences enjoy it.
Though even here, CGI would lend a helping hand.
The sleigh takes the curve, the Grinch is behind the sleigh, and he gets flung out around and goes flying in the air over this giant precipice. He's kind of in trouble there, and we get to save him.
Almost lost my cool there.
Ron Howard knew that such a screen fantasy would not be complete without the right music. For that, they turned to Academy Award-winning composer James Horner, whose previous work included Apollo 13 and Titanic. Both Jim Carrey and 6-year-old Taylor Momsen would each record songs for the movie.
Yes, this Christmas music.
So now, as Jim Carrey prepared to bring that mean and mischievous misanthrope, the Grinch, to movie audiences everywhere, the buzz was building.
One of the things that excites me the most is actually not sort of the big fantasy aspect. It's not the special effects, which gives it the scope and scale, of which I'm very proud. I think the scenes I like the most are these incredible scenes where Jim Carrey is all alone in his cave, and you realize just how neurotic the Grinch really is.
You have no messages?
Odd. Better check the outgoing.
If you utter so much as one syllable, I'll hunt you down and gut you like a fish. If you'd like to fax me, press the star key.
Theodore Geisel passed away some years ago, and he was Dr. Seuss, a genius. I would like nothing better than to believe that he'd be satisfied with our adaptation.
Now, after 3 years of painstaking preparation, almost a year of development, and 4 months of principal photography,
very nice.
The Grinch is on schedule.
6:30, dinner with me. I can't cancel that again.
I'm embarrassed to say it, but I really think it has something for everyone.
Whatever age you are, you're the age for Dr. Seuss.
It is a modern fable that really is broad in its appeal.
That's more like it.
Bringing a Seussian character to life is already something that hasn't happened yet.
Burn, baby! Burn!
Jim is a genius, and it was my pleasure to just be a participant in helping him bring his character to the screen. Really, one of the highlights of my career.
Why didn't I think of that?
As you watch The Grinch, you literally lean forward, and the only time you go back is when you're laughing.
Like for year after year, I put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how?
This kind of scale and this kind of movie, it's really cool.
Maybe I won't make any more movies after this, because everything's going to be boring after this.
I know we've created a world that is mind-blowing, that I've never even seen before. I mean, that it has speed and color and light.
We all had our work cut out for us with The Grinch.
We're gonna die!
But we had great screenwriters. We went to Rick Baker, one of the world's greatest makeup artists, and of course, the extraordinary Jim Carrey. And we've had a lot of laughs.
We did it! Cut, Trent, check the gate, moving on.